Hi, I'm Ari, and welcome to my series on the new Defense Grid Borderlands downloadable maps. I'm going to show you a basic maze strategy that should easily get you a gold medal on the first map, Onslaught. These Borderlands maps are roughly as difficult as the last few maps in the original campaign. Despite having 4 entries and 2 exits, Onslaught is a deceptively easy map. The trick here is to set up a basic maze around the core and squeeze out some extra entry. Just before the start of the second wave, pop up your first missile tower here on the left. Because we're clear of aliens, you can easily concentrate on timing it exactly right. You may have noticed I've squeezed a little extra interest out of the starter resources by holding off on building towers until the last second. This helps me build temporal towers quite early in the map, which is excellent for giving me lots of leeway for the more difficult waves to come. My first temporal tower is not quite in the corner of the map. This gives me room for a perfectly placed Inferno tower that can burn groups as they enter or exit the stash of power cores. To cover the map, you need 3 of these upgraded temporal towers.
Heads up, they're taking a call.
You'll notice I take a brief diversion here to build the second missile tower, and then return my menu to the temporal tower, so I can place the last 2 as soon as I'm ready. Anticipating what type of tower you'll need will help you grab just that little bit more interest on these harder maps.
Shields are coming.
Here's that Inferno tower I talked about earlier. Because this map has both large groups of enemies and waves of racers, the Inferno towers are a great way to diversify my defense grid. As you can see with my second and third Inferno towers, I'm also going to force the aliens to take tight turns here, adding a little extra time to get to the cores. This is a much more effective strategy for this map than having the front and back line of towers. Because we have another wave of stealth aliens coming, I'm building and upgrading a command tower. Most of the enemies you kill on this map will come within range of this one tower, so it's also a really simple way to make a little extra money from scrap.
They're taking them.
And again, I'm adding a few more tight turns to the right hand side of this maze. This area could wait because only half of the aliens will be coming through these entrances. Because the first seeker is coming, it's now time to start thinking about upgrading the rest of my towers. I start with the left hand side again because more enemies will pass through this area. The temporal towers are a good bet because they'll give everything else more time to hit. I also throw in a couple of gun towers because they gain a lot of power with their first upgrade. Unfortunately, I waited a bit long on upgrading my missile towers here, and missed half the wave. I didn't lose a core, but I didn't really need that third tower just yet, so you want to avoid skipping past the first bit of the wave like I did. If you pull that off, you can build the third missile tower when you have a little spare time, probably in the last 5 waves.
They can't stand up to the both of us.
time for a bit more upgrading. I'm picking towers that hit aliens coming from as many entrances as possible, and you should always pick ones with clear line of sight. I'm also putting down my final tower, a laser tower, to provide a bit more damage to those aliens with a lot of health. Because the first 3rd tier wave is coming, I also upgrade the temple towers again, because they're the most critical towers in my grid.
One is throwing a shield over the other. Going for a quick strike.
There's a group of mass aliens coming up in this wave, so I'm upgrading the left set of Inferno towers now. As you can see, this also helps with the speedy aliens,